Welcome to the Old Man's Corner. Pull up a chair and come on in. Today we're going to be talking about things that happen, I think, to most of us in our life at one time or another. I was a little 12-year-old boy. Used to go swimming every once in a while down at the pool. We had some neighbors behind us. They had 4 boys, and they had a summer pass to the swimming pool. So they were going down there every day. And they'd come back and they were all slender and tan and looked like they had enjoyed their life. So I used to go down there with them every once in a while. Here I was, a little 12-year-old pudgy boy with a crew cut haircut. And show up down there at the swimming pool. And I didn't really know how to swim yet. So I just went down to be around people and enjoy the day. So I was out there a few times. I never went out. I couldn't swim well, so I kind of stayed in the shallow end of the pool. At that time, when you're at the pool, the lifeguards, if you were going to go into the deep end, you had to be able to swim across the swimming pool once and back across before they'd even let you go into the deep end. So I stayed in the shallower end. Well, I remember one summer day I was out there just kind of floating around in the water, and I just bobbing up and down in the water like one of those old bobbers on a fishing pole, swaying side to side and going up and down. That's about the gist of what I did at that time. I was absorbing the sun, looking around the edges of the pool and looking at the people. There's some nice looking young ladies. Me being 12 years old, most of them were nice looking young ladies. But I was leaning up against the back of the pool and just kind of minding my own business. And then all of a sudden this young lady come up to the edge of the pool. She's, looked like she's probably, mind you, I was 12. Looked like she's probably 17 or so. Blonde-haired young lady, nice tan, in a bikini. And I thought, what in the world is she doing? So she bent down at the edge of the pool and she introduced herself. She said, "Hi, my name's Jenny." I said, "Hi." Of course, I didn't know what she wanted. She goes, "I saw you out here swimming and stuff." She said, "I thought you were kind of cute." I said, "Well, okay." I started laughing. Of course, my mind started running. What's this good-looking girl coming over talking to this little old pudgy boy about? And she goes, "So what do you got a car?" I said, "No, I ain't got no car. I got a bicycle." She goes, "Well, how would you like to go out sometime?" You got to be kidding me. I said, "Well, I don't have a car." She goes, "You got a bicycle? You can just pick me up on your bike." I said, "That works for me." So I just thought, well, this is the neatest thing that ever happened to a little 12-year-old pudgy boy. And she just kind of smiled, and she walked off. She said, "Don't forget to come and pick me up." So I sat there, and of course my mind was just twirling around inside out. I was so enamored with this young lady, and I thought, I don't know how I'm going to make it through the day, and how am I going to go pick her up on my bicycle, because there wasn't very much room on that bicycle for me. Needless to say, I don't know if she was coming over there talking to me to show her friends that she was a good person, or to make fun of me, or whatever it might have been. But to me, it didn't make any difference. I was infatuated out then. So I left and went home, talking to these guys on the way. I said, this gal come up to me at the pool. I'm supposed to be going on a date. And they said, "Well, who is it?" I said, "It's Jenny." They said, Jenny. I said, "I don't think so. thinking about it, and I said, well, it doesn't make any difference. So for the next several months, I was just in heaven, thinking, well, somebody out there at least likes this little pudgy old boy. And I went as far as, carving the initials in a tree. So just one of those times where, one of those things that kind of sticks with you. And kind of humorous now to think back on it, but boy, for several months there, I was walking on water. Well, that's just a little lightening up story for people. So if you ever had something like this happen to you, and most people have had someone they become infatuated with, and especially when you're younger, someone speaks to you or you meet them, and you think they're the most beautiful or most handsome people in the world, and that memory sticks with you throughout your life. Well, if this has happened to you, leave me a note in the comments and tell me about your story. I always love to hear stories. Well, this is just another one of those things that on the old man corner, so that I'd like to share, and I'll continue to share as many as I can, as long as I can. Well, thank you much for joining me today. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.